Previously on The Greatest Estate Developer, our hero shattered the corrupt tower, outwitted the ruthless system, and survived the impossible trials, but a cataclysmic betrayal looms, threatening the entire city. And now, the story.
The river roars. Javier's body plunges. The bone dragon's tail snaps shut like a crushing vice. His mana heart shatters completely. Fragments ignite into 60 trillion somatic cell mana hearts. Raw power floods his chest. In an instant, his sword sings. The dragon's limb falls. Terrifying energy erupts. A dark price waits. Crimson water explodes. Javier slams into the Magina River. The bone dragon's tail smashes through his chest. His mana heart detonates. 60 trillion somatic cell hearts bloom inside him. Grandmaster power ignites. His blade slices clean through bone and scale. The dragon screams. Victory tastes like blood and lightning. Suho watches. Lloyd watches. The river turns red. Javier hits the water. The dragon's tail cracks his core open. The river roars. Javier falls. The dragon's tail shatters his mana heart. 60 trillion hearts bloom in the wreckage. Blinding power floods his veins. The dragon's limb falls clean. Raw terror radiates from his body. A dark price whispers. Mana pushed beyond all limits. A grandmaster born in blood and agony. Javier hurtles into the Magina River. The bone dragon's tail crushes his chest. Agony detonates. 60 trillion hearts ignite like living stars. Power surges through every vein. His blade cuts through dragon limb. One strike, one kill. Brutal triumph. Trauma transformed into unstoppable force.
Javier slams into the Magina River. His mana heart explodes into 60 trillion somatic cell fragments. Raw demonic energy floods his body. The bone dragon's limb tears clean apart. Blinding crimson surge. Total devastation. Lloyd watches helplessly. Javier seizes unimaginable power. His shattered core pays the price. From humiliated nobody to catastrophic force. He teeters on the edge. Control slipping. Power threatening to consume him whole. The river boils with volatile energy. The bone dragon reels in fury. Javier stands reborn. Unstable. Unstoppable. His newfound power threatens to destroy him before he ever leaves the water. When the system gives you a hidden quest, you take it. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
The demon broker ripped the skyline apart, and the city crumbled in 3 heart-stopping minutes. Lloyd Frontera watches the ash-filled horizon, his guts screaming for a way out. He must halt the collapse and keep his family's name from drowning in debt. The bone dragon's dying roar shatters the silence, its mana splintered and useless. Lloyd snatches the flickering energy, slams his hand into the ether, and forces the zombie domination spell to surge. The spell devours the lingering souls, binding them to his will. The dragon's final breath fuels his power, but a black tide of darkness curls inside him, whispering of blood-soaked futures.
We're bound now, forever.
The darkness rustles, promising more blood. As the bone dragon convulses, Lloyd seizes the waning mana, pouring it into his zombie domination. The spell flares, weaving a spectral lattice that shackles restless souls while Targa's stubborn parietal bone wails in protest. With a cold grin, Lloyd shatters the pleading spirit, sealing his dark ascendancy. The battlefield falls silent, the echo of the Empire's ruin reverberating in the shattered stone. The dust settles, yet the city hangs on a knife edge. The remaining towers sway, the sky bruised with lingering magic. Every faction eyes the cracked foundation, waiting for the next move that could either rebuild a legacy or drown it in ruin.
The bone dragon shatters under Javier's Grandmaster Slash, spilling raw mana that Lloyd instantly siphons to fuel a sprawling zombie domination sigil, reshaping the battlefield in a surge of undead power. Han Jae-hyun watches his ruthless ambition ignite as the undead tide threatens to swallow the Alliance's soul, while Se-Aray's dream of a foundation forged from the dragon's heart teeters on the brink of annihilation. The midnight demon looms, eyes locked on the stolen mana, while Suho's levitating scaffold trembles, leaving the fate of the shattered dragon and the Alliance's contract hanging in a precarious, blood-stained stalemate. You won't find a better recap. Prove me wrong or subscribe to Manwa with Hari. Lloyd's palm sizzles as the half-dragon Sigil erupts, flaring bright blue. Anticus's skeletal corpse shatters the moonlit courtyard, bones rattling like shattered glass. The ancient dragon's hollow eyes blaze, pleading, "Release me!" A cursed video letter crackles, spilling centuries-old warlock treachery that bound the bone dragon's soul to hell. Lloyd's engineer mind spins, scheming a blueprint to free Anticus and expose the hidden dragon conspiracy that threatens the whole realm. Lloyd hammers the sigil into stone. The floor erupts with a bone-white roar. Anticus materializes, skeletal and starving for release, eyes burning with desperate fire. The dragon's hollow stare pleads for freedom from the infernal cage forged by a centuries-old warlock. The giant hamster, trembling with fury, darts between falling debris, massive paws scattering stones like a living bulldozer. It fights to shield Lloyd and keep the dragon's spirit from burning the estate forever. The weakened demon lunges, clawed hand aiming for the hamster's heart. The hamster spins, slams its bulk into the demon, and hurls it into the still glowing rune. The impact triggers a burst of purifying light, sealing the demon's scream within stone. Exhausted, the hamster collapses, breath ragged, while Lloyd watches the light dim, realizing a new debt looms ahead. A serene figure of celestial light descends, aura humming like a choir of angels. Lloyd forces the cracked obsidian crystal to flare, conjuring Anticus's skeletal form and binding the dragon's tormented spirit to his will. As the bone dragon's power thrums through him, the hidden warlock's game unfurls deeper in the shadows, promising betrayals that could topple kingdoms. Eternity's weight crushes Lloyd's heart as the dragon's desperate plea collides with his own need to protect the estate. He risks his soul to contain a power that could devour everything, feeling the line between savior and destroyer blur. A celestial being descends, offering the demon a chance at a normal life. Yet the author warlock watches, clutching his cursed tome, ready to rewrite destiny. The dragon's fate and the estate's survival hang in peril, each heartbeat echoing the looming rewrite. A true ally is rare in this world. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
A demon brokered the city's skyline, and the countdown to annihilation begins. Lloyd clutches the cursed parchment, his eyes fixed on the ink that seals the Hell Realm venture. He needs the Dragon King's power to pull his family out of ruin, but the contract demands Anticus's soul vow, an oath that will erase his very being if broken. Lloyd forces the quill down, signing with trembling hands while the demon watches, clawed fingers twitching. The ink burns his skin, and the pact glows, binding Anticus forever.
Your soul is the price for this resurrection.
The pact ignites a darkness none of them anticipated. Lloyd's mind races. He must secure the single resurrection clause before the oath locks.
Lloyd slams his quill onto the parchment, ink spilling like molten amber as he signs the infernal contract. He forces Anticus to crush his palm against the dragon-etched sigil, sealing a soul vow that devours memory if broken. Across the table, Dragon King Verkis flickers, his eyes igniting the clause that promises a single resurrection and a glowing rune marking the hell exit. Lloyd lifts the pen, daring destiny to obey. The fallout leaves everyone questioning whether any bargain with darkness can truly be won.
Lloyd seizes the demon's wrist, slams his quill onto the infernal parchment, and forces Anticus to press his palm into the Dragon King Verkis' blazing sigil, sealing a soul vow that ignites the abyss. Anticus sacrifices his very essence, his violet eyes flickering as his soul teeters on the brink, while Lloyd clings to a fragile chance to rescue his debt-burdened estate from eternal damnation. The contract burns, the Hell Realm fissure yawns wider, and the dragon's curse reverberates, leaving the fate of both souls hanging over a chasm that could swallow everything. Hit subscribe on Manwa with Hari right now. The next recap is closer than you think. Suho forces the rusted studio door open, his flashlight slicing through centuries of dust. He pries the humming demon transmitter from its stone cradle, and the ancient sigil's flare, tearing the silence. A colossal roar erupts as the heavenly demon materializes, its eyes burning prophecy. Suho grins, deadpan. Finally a real job. While the Frontera's cursed debt trembles on the brink of annihilation, Suho slams the barn door open, flashes a lantern into the dust-caked studio, and tears at the ancient stone slab. The hidden demon transmitter sputters to life, blasting a cursed pulse that shatters centuries of silence. The knight, Sir Mail, charges in, sword drawn, intent on slaying the heavenly intruder. He seeks redemption for his family's disgrace, believing the demon's defeat will restore honor. The demon's aura repels his blade, sending a shockwave that knocks the knight off his feet. He rolls, grabs a broken column, and hurls it at the transmitter, hoping to smash the source. The column shatters against the crystal, scattering shards that pierce the demon's form, forcing it to recoil. Yet the impact also cracks the floor, sending a sinkhole beneath Sir Mail's feet. He teeters on the edge, breath ragged. The heavenly demon rises, eyes blazing, declaring its one wish, to live a normal life after years of exile. Suho wrench opens the dust-caked studio, igniting the demon transmitter. A vortex of infernal light erupts as the heavenly demon materializes, its blazing eyes searing the shattered stone arches. Lloyd scrambles to brace the collapsing ceiling with his giant hamster, fearing the studio's ruin will crush his future and the fragile hope of ending the Heaven-Demon War. Sir Mail lunges, sword raised, while the heavenly demon whispers its yearning for a mortal life, leaving the studio trembling on the brink of total collapse and an unanswered bargain. By this time next week, the internet will be blowing up over this manhwa. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari and be ready.
Suho, now the reluctant heir Lloyd, throws a battered gear into the humming transmitter, ancient metal teeth grinding after 66 dormant years. The demon engineer erupts, lightning cracking the shattered heaven-bound guild walls. Lyra darts forward, her blade flashing into the lieutenant's scarlet gaze. Their quick, desperate kiss sparks a pulse of hope just as the Leviathan broadcast roars to life, threatening to drown the world in divine static. Lloyd, now a slothful noble, bursts into the dim transmitter vault as the ancient demon engineer awakens with a thunderous roar. He slams his improvised gear into the humming relic, forcing the heaven-bound guild into a frantic clash. Sir Garrick charges the demon, shield raised, determined to hold the broadcast at any cost. He wants to buy time for Lloyd to finish the shutdown sequence. The demon's massive arm slams the floor, cracking stone and sending clouds of dust into Garrick's eyes. He staggers, but grips his shield tighter, using the falling debris as a makeshift barricade. Lloyd, sweat streaming, twists the final gear, aligning the ancient conduit with his engineered circuit. The conduit sparks, momentarily stabilizing the signal. The demon snarls, feeling its power wane, while the guild gasps at the sudden calm. They have no idea what lurks beyond. Lloyd slams the hidden transmitter's massive stone door, grappling hooks sparking as the ancient demon engineer awakens, and he forces the gigantic hamster into the gear room to halt the world-shaking broadcast. Lloyd bears the Frontera family's crushing debt, risking his life to silence the signal while Sir Garrick shields the dying world, and Lyra clings to a fragile promise that the demon never harms again. The demon steadies, its roar dimming to a low growl, but the original seal cracks, leaving the broadcast's final pulse unpredictable and the fate of both humanity and the demon hanging in terrifying balance. Every recap is written for fans who actually care about the lore. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari and never lose the plot. The Skyline shatters. The developer's vengeance erupts, and the city has 10 minutes left. Lee Junwoo watches towers crumble, his blueprint still wet on the table. He refuses to let the land die forever. The void spirit's pulse rattles the earth, halting every crane and foundation. Junwoo snatches the ancient contract, slams it onto the fractured slab, and forces the kingdom's ley lines through his engineered lattice. The broken stones tremble, holding the collapse for a heartbeat, but the price is brutal. His new allies gasp as their life force is siphoned into the sealing sigil. Their sacrifice fuels the spell, but darkness still gnaws at the horizon. And that's only the beginning.
Suho-possessed Lloyd storms the council hall, slamming a brass-cog blueprint onto the marble table. Will raise a sky-piercing tower on Gaiwon's cursed quarry, engineered to siphon the void's hunger. The massive hamster thunders forward, dragging a colossal stone slab, while Sir Calder brandishes a sigil-etched hammer. Sparks crackle as magic fuses with steel, and the hill of debt begins to crumble beneath their audacious design, each strike echoing the kingdom's desperate gamble.
The aftermath hangs heavy, and the kingdom wonders if any peace can ever rise from these ashes, as survivors stare at cracked foundations and whisper of rebuilding. The transmitter demon erupts from its millennial tomb, ripping the sky as Junwoo smashes the glowing seal, while Arya unleashes a blazing royal sigil, and Yoon Seara weaves a silver contract to bind the crack, their combined power shaking the heavens. Kim Tae-ho watches his life's blueprint melt into a blood-stained contract, feeling his legacy shatter, yet glimpses a chance to forge a tower that might finally eclipse the void's hunger, a flicker of hope amid ruin. The half-bound demon claws toward freedom, the sky remains torn, and the kingdom teeters on the brink of a new void surge, leaving every faction scrambling for a pact that may never exist, their futures hanging by a thread of fragile magic. Bet you can't guess what happens next. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari and see if you're right. The demon slams the cursed deed onto the stone. 6 minutes left before the skyline shatters. Lloyd Suho feels the floor quake, ancient seals cracking like glass. He must halt the ruin and rescue his family's estate. The sealed, heavenly demon erupts, eyes blazing with a millennia-old hunger, sealing every escape route. Suho lunges, shouting the incantation he memorized from dusty engineering manuals, praying the old transmitter still hums. The earth splits, unleashing a wave of black energy toward Frontera Manor. The blast throws his giant hamster companion to the ground, and the heavens blacken with looming doom. Suho sprints to the shattered transmitter, desperate to revive the godstream that sealed the monster. A knight in ancient alloy armor joins Suho, wielding a forged hammer pulsing with celestial steel. He aims to drive the final reinforcement into the deepest fissure, sealing the yawning abyss beneath the manor. The abyss's frigid wind slashes his face, trying to freeze his resolve. He lifts the hammer, muscles trembling, and smashes the steel rod into the crack. The impact sends a shockwave that momentarily freezes the demonic flow. Dust erupts, the abyss recoils, its mouth narrowing. Yet a lingering pulse of darkness seeps through the new seal, whispering threats. The whisper hints that the demons will remain far from broken. Suho forces the raging godstream into his ancestors' concealed conduit, shattering the fragile steel channel as the demon's abyssal form erupts, threatening to consume the entire estate in one violent surge. He watches his family's centuries-old seal crumble, feeling his legacy teeter on collapse while his giant hamster ally bears the crushing weight of a broken beam, risking everything for a fleeting chance at salvation. The half-manifest demon snarls at the radiant heavenly envoy, refusing surrender, as the spectral scribe clutching the original Wabong hovers, leaving the manor's
When the ground gives out, getting used to quiet when the noise dies down. I can see the damage when I look around, but I'm still here breathing, so I'm here for now. If I could step outside my head and tell myself what I know now, find something you believe in, find someone who will leave when everything you build starts breaking down. Find a place you can return to, find a truth you can hold to when the lights go out and you're lost.
The lore runs deeper than you think. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari to uncover all of it. The ancient heavenly demon transmitter shudders awake, its stone gears grinding after silent years. Light erupts, casting Suho's engineered schematics in a spectral glow, while the demonic lineage hidden in the estate's foundations thrums with restless power. He snaps the guardian's sigil, negotiating a pact that steadies the heavenly stream, saving his indebted family and turning the cursed manor into a beacon of magical prosperity. Suho slams the ancient transmitter's crystal, and the dormant heavenly demon roars awake after years. The ground shudders as its spectral gears spin, spilling memories of the demon creator's tragic exile.
The stone walls tremble as the demonic lineage whispers through the foundation, urging Lloyd to abandon his calculations and accept the ancient pact. He wants to protect his family's future, refusing to let the demon's desire dictate the estate's fate. The whispering shadows coil around his blueprint, smearing ink and erasing sections. He slams his fist on the table, tears out the corrupted pages, and sketches a new design by hand, embedding protective sigils into every support beam. The new plan stabilizes the flow, but the demon's grief intensifies, turning the stream's glow a sickly red. The cost is the loss of a trusted ally who can no longer trust the water's purity.
Suho slams the ancient transmitter, forcing the dormant heavenly demon to erupt in a vortex of crackling light that tears the manor's stone walls and exposes a hidden demonic bloodline pulsing through the estate's foundation. Lloyd feels centuries of familial duty crumble as the demonic lineage whispers betrayal, threatening to drown his calculated future in chaos, while Suho races to seal the echo before it corrupts everything he built. The heavenly demon steps into the courtyard, pleading for an ordinary life, leaving the reservoir's unstable flow and the estate's very soul hanging in a precarious balance that could shatter at any moment.
I brought the story to life. Now bring this channel to life. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The demon slams the contract. The city has 3 hours before heaven collapses. Gargo watches the ink dry, his eyes ignited by a purpose that could wipe out his family's debt. He craves the pact, to bind the sky's raw power and secure his lineage's future. A celestial barrier shivers, rejecting the agreement, and the ink spreads like blood. He hammers his fist onto the parchment, weaving engineering logic into glowing sigils. The barrier erupts, spilling a surge of pure heavenly energy into the choking streets. The sky cracks open, thunder booms, and the world trembles. We sign, and the world reshapes. He roars, feeling destiny pulse through his veins.
A sudden flash of memory tears the veil from the demon lord's form, exposing his true nature, an ancient original transmitter that crash-landed centuries past. Stripped of divinity, he trudges through mortal life, haunted by celestial guilt that gnaws at his core. The revelation links his bloodline to the hidden, heavenly stream, and the secret studio pulses with dormant schematics, promising unimaginable power or utter ruin. In a jagged flash, Lloyd's mind, now Suho's, splinters into the demon lord's forgotten past. The celestial transmitter, shattered long ago, plummeted to earth, its divine circuitry fusing with mortal flesh. Guilt gnaws as the ancient hierarchy's chain rattles, and the hidden studio hums, pulsing with the heavenly stream's raw power, threatening to rewrite his family's fate and reshape the city's destiny. With the demon lord's cursed blood igniting the fallen celestial transmitter, he tears the heaven's seal and forces the surging heavenly stream into his own heart, becoming a living bridge between sky and earth, a conduit of divine wrath and salvation. He yearns to erase his family's crushing debt and reclaim lost divinity, yet each pulse of celestial power rips at his humanity, threatening to drown his soul in endless guilt, alienation, and a cold, lingering emptiness. A massive wall of shattered stone rises, sealing the courtyard as the city trembles on the brink of collapse, leaving the demon lord's newfound bridge teetering between salvation and catastrophic annihilation.
He didn't just beat him, he humbled him. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari for the aftermath.